I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty. Yeah!
All right, Alfred Talafero, Mr. Telefero TV. What's going on, guys? All right, NBA trade rumor a little bit too early for my liking, all right? The trade rumors don't really get started until after Christmas Day. This is when I believe the NBA season really starts. Christmas Day, to me, is the season opener. And then towards December, January, and, of course, before the February trade deadline, that's when things get going. So right now, I'm hearing about a trade in the works before Thanksgiving, and this is a little too early for my liking, but I'm going to explain every dynamic to the best of my abilities, what's being reported. Brian Scalabrine, remember former player, orange hair, the white mamba of the Boston Celtics organization right now. He's pretty much throwing a trade out there that is pretty much something that he believes is likely to happen, all right? Do I believe it will happen? I will tell you that at the end of this. All right, the trade that is proposed, reportedly, is that Boston is willing to give up Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, and their first-round protected top 3 pick, which of Brooklyn's. Remember, Brooklyn gave up a lot of their picks for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. Brooklyn is going to have a top 3 worst record. So with that being said, the Boston Celtics are trying to give up Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, and this pick, and they're trying to trade him to your reigning Western Conference champion Golden State Warriors for guess who? Klay Thompson. I know, on face value this sounds crazy. The Golden State Warriors are just starting to gel. But the point of the trade is, look, the Golden State Warriors, look, if I've did blogs on how I thought Klay Thompson would get traded next offseason, y'all better start listening to the kid. But, and also, people within the Golden State Warriors organization believe, just like I believe, that Klay Thompson is the oddball out. With that being said, it would be Klay Thompson getting traded for those pieces. The Warriors would have that first-round pick, and then they would use that first-round pick, which will probably be a top 3 pick, to go out and go after DeMarcus Cousins, who we believe the Sacramento Kings will be looking to trade before the deadline. That's everything. That's the trade and everything. So it'll be no 3-team trade, but it'll be two-team trades, both involving the Golden State Warriors. Now let me break this down. If you're a Boston Celtic, you make this move 100%. Anytime you're able to go get an all-star, a shooter like Klay Thompson, a two-way player at 6'7", you go do it. You put him together with Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford. Now you have a team that legitimately can compete in the Eastern Conference. Jaylen Brown can defend, rookie out of California. He's only going to get better. If you're Boston, you make this move easily. First-round pick does nothing for Boston anymore. Just keep getting pieces. Let's start to turn those pieces into assets. I love Al Horford once he gets back from his concussion. Like Isaiah Thomas, you put Klay Thompson in the mix, they're a tough out in the Eastern Conference, and I believe should get to the Eastern Conference Finals easily. From Golden State's perspective, do you make this trade? Only if you know in the future you can get DeMarcus Cousins, but even then it doesn't make sense financially to me, because if you go get DeMarcus Cousins, you got to pay him max money. Now you'll have to pay him, Steph, Draymond, and Kevin Durant max money, and Andre Iguodala still has a decent salary. To me, financially, it doesn't make sense, all right? It just doesn't make sense. Now people will argue that if they don't get DeMarcus Cousins and they just take Avery Bradley, Drake Crowder, and that first-round pick, and they keep the pick, you create a lot of depth, all right? I think it's something to look into in the offseason, because they're going to have to create some cap room to get Steph Curry his money. But I don't think you do it in the middle of the season. I don't, or right now, whenever. Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, they do give the Warriors, they will give the Warriors some depth. And they need depth, y'all. The Warriors are not defending every night, all right? And a lot of people have been saying Klay Thompson is a great two-way player. He's one of the best defenders. Listen, man, Klay Thompson is a really good defender. Don't get me wrong. But right now, Klay Thompson's mind, and it's always been this way, is still devoted to offense. You need a Avery Bradley, a Jay Crowder, whose mind, who they want to focus on defense. I think you need players like that. And you have enough offense. You have a Steph Curry. You have a Kevin Durant. You have a Draymond Green. I believe what they can do on the court, you can't replace that. The only guy out of that big mix that's somebody that, I ain't going to say you can replace Klay Thompson shooting because he's an incredible shooter. I don't want to take away anything from Klay Thompson. But I will say this. He's the most expendable. I think you got to keep Draymond Green. What he brings to that team from a rebounding aspect, the defense aspect, can guard a 4, a 5, a 3, can pass the ball at will, understands his role, brings toughness to the team, gives this team an edge. I don't think you can get rid of Draymond Green. Can't get rid of the reigning 2-time MVP Steph Curry, and you just did all this to get Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant, to me, does everything that Klay Thompson does better. So with that means I think Kevin Durant is a better shooter than Klay Thompson. I think Kevin Durant can space the floor better than Klay Thompson. I think he's a better defender than Klay Thompson. When it all said and done, he's longer. He gets to the basket better than Klay Thompson. I think everything that Klay Thompson is great at, I think Kevin Durant is a step better. Now, I don't know if they'll be able – I don't know if this is something Sacramento is even looking into doing for a first-round pick. I honestly think Golden State's going to have to give up a lot more, and I know they're not going to do that. So I don't know about that DeMarcus Cousins trade. So let's just focus on if Boston traded Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, and the first-round pick that's Brooklyn Nets top. That's going to be a top 3 pick. Brooklyn's going to have a top 3 worst record. It's going to be a top 3 pick, maybe number 1. All right, now you get to looking into some of the aspects in the draft. And if you're Golden State, maybe the way Golden State's going to have to do it, because they have so much money tied to Steph, so much money tied to KD. Right now, so much tied to Klay, but that could change. So much money tied to Draymond. The way they're going to have to do it in the future, they're either going to have to get older players who are looking for championships that they can sign on for the veterans minimum, or they're going to have to draft and use these young draft picks to fill roles, because nobody else in a world, in an NBA where everybody's getting paid, nobody's going to take the money that Golden State can offer, because they can't just offer. They can offer a lot of money right now. They don't have the money. All right? So if I'm Golden State, I play this thing out this season. I do not trade Klay Thompson this season. I do not trade Klay Thompson this season. Listen to me again. I do not trade Klay Thompson in the middle of the season. What do I do now? You see what Steph Curry and his team, they're wanting. You know he's going to want more money than LeBron. You know he's going to want more money than, of course, Mike Conley, who's the highest paid player in the league right now. You know he's going to want more money than probably even KD. He's going to want to be the highest paid player on the Warriors and probably in the NBA. You know he's going to want to command money, maybe $30, $35 million a year. You see what Steph wants. You see if he's willing to negotiate, which I wouldn't. You see if he's willing to negotiate to keep him and Klay there, which would mean taking a pay cut from a standpoint of he'll get a pay increase of what he makes now, but it won't be what his market value is worth. There's a team out there that will be willing to give him $40 million a year if he wants it. If I'm Steph Curry, if I'm the Warriors, you sit there and negotiate with Steph and see if there's a way to keep Klay, Steph, Draymond, and KD. And if it doesn't work out, then you look into trading Klay Thompson. You gauge Boston's interest level, and you gauge other teams' interest level. But I do not trade Klay Thompson midseason. I still believe this team is going to be a tough out, and I still believe they give the Cavs matchup nightmares if these teams make it to the finals. I don't want to sleep on Klay Thompson. He's a really good, borderline great player. Let's not sleep on this kid, all right? Put up 37 in one quarter. Don't forget that. He can ball. But with that being said, I do agree. Golden State's going to have to look into making some things shake, because Steph is going to demand money in the offseason, period. The Warriors could use some depth, and the only piece that could go, remember I did a blog on this last week, is Klay Thompson. If you look at the team, it's the only piece that could go. All right, what do you think about this potential trade? Talk to me about all the elements. What do you think about Boston potentially giving up Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, and that first-round pick that's going to be top 3 protected? Again, a Brooklyn Nets pick that happened in the KG Paul Pierce trade. What do you think about the Warriors possibly giving up Klay Thompson? And for the fun of it, what do you think about the Kings possibly trading DeMarcus Cousins before the trade deadline? I go by the name Alfred Telefero. You're currently tuning in to Miss Telefero TV. Thank you for the time, love, and support. Salute. I'm out. Hey, first and foremost, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love if you watch other videos while you're on my YouTube channel. Now, while you're here, people ask me all the time, how can you support Mr. Telefero? Well, if you want to support me in my future endeavors, the first thing I want you to do is subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe to my channel, you get all my content first. Your subscribe goes a long way. I get to understand my demographics, understand who support me, who got something out this video. So first things first, a subscribe will go a long ways. Next, if you really rock with me, donate $1 to my GoFundMe. I have a GoFundMe link in the description. If you really want to support me, just $1. Showing me $1 and some good wishes will go a long way. If you want to support me and you want to help me with my travels, I got a lot of things coming up, but I got to get them travel fees there. I got to find a way to get there, so that can help me financially if you really want to go there. Also, a word of encouragement. Thank you. Whatever it is, talk to me in my comment box below. Comment on this video, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do this video. I got to thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. My name is Mr. Telefero. Now, if you subscribe, help, donate, do whatever, you can see more videos like this, more new exclusive content. I got a lot on the way. Trust me. Thank you. It's Mr. Telefero.com.